Hello, I'm Nick Park, and this is our weekly message from Evangelical Alliance Ireland. It might be Friday, but Sunday's coming. And of course, on the last Friday of every month, we always do an interview with somebody. And today I'm here with Arie de Pater, and we're actually in the European Parliament building. And Arie is like a liaison or representative from the European Evangelical Alliance, working with the European institutions. So, Arie, great to be able to talk to you today.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome here in Brussels.
And tell us something about what it is you actually do, and you know, how does your role actually work out in practice?
Yeah, well, I represent the evangelical community here in Brussels. So there are a few topics that I really focus on. So there's freedom of religion or belief and freedom of expression. That is migration and asylum. So how to deal with migrants here. And since COVID, we started also focusing on artificial intelligence. So how that will impact our societies, and how we can, how we as evangelicals would feel about that, and what kind of changes we would like to see in the legislation and in what's going on here in Brussels. So these are the three main topics. So I try to build relationships with other NGOs here in Brussels that are dealing with a broader range of issues that might also be important, but we just don't have the capacity to follow that ourselves. And then I try to work with MEPs and their staff on the topics or on the committees that are relevant for the topics that we are dealing with. So that could be the Human Rights Subcommittee, that could be the Foreign Affairs Committee when it's about freedom of religion or belief and freedom of expression. It could be the Civil Liberties Committee that is also focusing on human rights, including freedom of religion or belief, and also refugees and migrants. That is also a topic that comes up in the Civil Liberty Committee.
Yeah, because I mean, like any institution, the European Parliament is made up of people. And people have their needs, they go through stuff in their life. But sometimes it's hard for us to connect with that in churches, isn't it? Because it's almost like this faceless thing that's way over there. Yeah. So it's really important that we've got people like you who can sort of help put a human face on what's happening.
Yeah, and it's the other way around as well, because for many MEPs, many debates here about policies, they tend to take the discussion at a higher level, talking about statistics, about numbers, and we try to put a face to these stories, to these numbers, so that people, to bring the topic a little bit closer, and also the needs for, either the evangelical community or for some of the people that we're working for, to bring that a little bit closer to the MEPs.
Yeah, and I guess as well, you can bring an extra perspective, because there's times things are being proposed here that are very well-meaning. You know, like people trying to deal with Islamic extremism, for example, that would have unanticipated ramifications for minority Christian groups in some countries.
Yeah. No, and that's why it's important for us to be here. Sometimes the legislation will be directly important for our constituency, and at other times we want to bring our perspective on certain topics. Also about the role of churches in society, to bring that to the MEPs, to make sure that will still be possible, because there is a big contribution of churches to society. When we talk about migrants, churches are doing so much to welcome them, to help them integrate, to support them in the first difficult month when they arrive in Europe. So it's important for us to bring that information as well to the European Parliament.
Mm-hmm. So people back in Ireland that are watching this, that they want to pray. They want to pray for the Parliament here. They want to pray for the people involved as politicians, but staff and, all the people that are involved. Could you give us some pointers for what people could be praying for?
I think good relations. I think that would be an important thing. To really have good relations with other parliamentarians, because they need each other to make things happen, and to get legislation through. And some dossiers will take years, and that can be very frustrating. So I think it's good if you have good relations. It's always easier. So I would say pray for good relations between MEPs and their staff, so that they will be safe, they will have a good opportunity to good working environment here in the Parliament. I think that would be good. Good relations also with civil society, because lots of the information that is about what is happening in our societies that comes to the MEPs through civil society, through the media. So I think good relations there are also important.
Okay, that's great. Well, there's some pointers that we can pray for, and I'm just grateful that we've got people like Arie who are here working in connections with people within the European Parliament, and that, you know, there's a lot of people here. There's some Christians really trying to serve God. There's a lot of other people who may not be Christians, but they still need to be. We still need to share love with them. We still need to pray for them, and we need to ask God's blessing upon them. So, Arie, I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you for everything you're doing.
Well, and thank you for your interest in the work that's going on here in Brussels, and thank you for your prayers.
So thanks for joining us for this quick message from Evangelical Alliance Ireland. We'll be back again next Friday again, because it might be Friday, but Sunday's coming.